Picture this. You're in a meeting. You know the air conditioning is humming, someone's clicking a pen, the coffee's lukewarm.
The classic conference room scene.
Exactly. And the team is going back and forth on a problem, and it just hits you. You know the answer, like with total clarity.
You're the expert in the room on this one thing. You've done the work.
Right. You are competent, you are prepared, but you don't say anything.
You hesitate.
You hesitate. You tell yourself, oh, I'll just double check this one data point, or I'll wait for a better moment to jump in.
And in that moment of hesitation, someone else speaks up.
Yes. Maybe it's the person who clearly knows half of what you know. They pitch a version of your idea, a worse version, honestly, and everyone just nods.
And they get the project.
They get the project, and you're left sitting there just frustrated thinking, why didn't I just speak up?
It is such a visceral feeling. I think almost everyone listening knows that exact burn in their chest. It's like watching your career happen to someone else.
And we always tell ourselves the same story, don't we? Well, I'm just not a confident person.
We treat it like it's a personality trait, like eye color. You're either born with it or you're not.
That's the whole reason we're doing this deep dive. We're looking at the Confidence Code by Katty Kay and Claire Shipman, and their entire argument is that we've got it all wrong.
Completely wrong. Confidence isn't a personality trait. It's not luck. It's a mechanism.
A mechanism.
A system. It's a biological and psychological system that you can actually decode. And if it's a system, that means it can be engineered.
So it's a skill, not a gift.
It's a skill.
Yeah.
And that's our mission today. We want to take you from that state of overthinking, of paralysis in the meeting, to a state of action.
We're going to dig into the science, from the genetics of monkeys to, believe it or not, the decision-making of rats, to figure out how to build that bridge between being good at your job and being seen as good at your job.
And to do that, we have to start with the biggest misconception of all. We have to define what confidence even is, because most people mix it up with self-esteem.
Okay, I'm definitely guilty of that. I use them interchangeably. If I feel good about myself, isn't that being confident?
Not necessarily. The book makes this razor-sharp distinction. Self-esteem is your internal value. It's the belief that, I am a person of worth.
Which is important.
Oh, it's crucial. It keeps you happy. But you can have incredibly high self-esteem. You can love yourself and still be absolutely terrified to raise your hand.
So self-esteem is passive. It's how you feel about yourself when you're alone.
Exactly. Confidence, according to the book, is not a feeling at all. It is the purity of action.
The purity of action. Wow, that sounds almost military.
It kind of is. It means confidence is judged only by what you do, not what you think or feel.
So it's all external.
It is.
Yeah.
And there's this fascinating study in the book by a neuroscientist named Adam Kepex that just nails this point. And he didn't study CEOs to figure this out. He studied rats.
I love when the rodents show up. Okay, so how do you measure a rat's confidence? They're not like giving little motivational speeches?
No. But they're making decisions. So Kepex set up this experiment where a rat had to choose which hole to stick its nose into to get a treat.
Okay.
But he varied the difficulty. Sometimes the smell of the food was really obvious, an easy choice. Other times it was faint, ambiguous, a tough call.
So the rat has to make a judgment call.
Right. But here's the genius part.
Yeah.
The measurement wasn't whether the rat was right or wrong. It was how long the rat was willing to wait for the reward after it made a choice.
The wait time, that was the metric.
That was the metric. Because that wait time showed how sure the rat was. If it made a choice and just stayed there, it was displaying what Kepex called statistical confidence.
He was betting on itself.
It was betting on its own decision. It wasn't about feeling brave. It was a calculation followed by commitment. I decided this, and I'm sticking with it.
That completely strips the emotion out of it. We think of confidence as this big, I feel great emotion.
But biologically, it's just the bridge between thought and action. And this is why so many really competent people get stuck. They have the thought, but the bridge is out.
Which leads right to what the authors call the confidence gap. They found it's especially a problem for women, even at the highest levels.
Oh, the gap is startling. They tell this story about visiting the Washington Mystics, the WNBA team.
Okay, so we're talking about the top 1% of athletes in the world.
Exactly. On the court, these women are dominant, aggressive. Their competence is just off the charts. You'd think they're the most confident people alive.
You would. They perform in front of thousands of people.
Right. But then the authors interviewed them in the locker room, off the court.
Yeah.
And it all just crumbled.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These same fierce competitors were suddenly full of self-doubt, dwelling on every tiny mistake, seeking reassurance. One of them basically said she wasn't sure she was good enough to even be on the team.
That's classic imposter syndrome. World-class competence, but a total drought of confidence.
That's the gap. And it proves the hardest lesson in the book. Competence does not automatically create confidence.
That's a tough pill to swallow. You think, if I just get one more degree or master one more skill, then I'll feel confident.
But the finish line just keeps moving.
Yeah.
So if it's not about skill, what is it? Is it nature or nurture? Are some of us just wired to be anxious?
Yeah, that's the scary question, isn't it?
Well, the book dives right in. The short answer is yes, some of us are. But there's a huge twist.
Okay, I'm listening.
They visited this NIH facility to meet Stephen Swomey, who's been studying rhesus monkeys for decades.
A good proxy for humans.
Incredibly similar. And Swomey found that about 20% of his monkeys were just born anxious. You could see it right away. While the bold ones were exploring, these little guys just clung to their mothers.
And they found a biological reason for it.
They did. It's a variation in a specific gene, SLC6A4.
Okay, what does that gene do?
It regulates serotonin,
Yeah.
the happy chemical. These anxious monkeys had a version of the gene that meant their brains didn't process serotonin well, so their fear center, the amygdala, was just dialed way up.
Hearing that is honestly a little terrifying. It feels like science is saying, sorry, it's just your DNA. Good luck with that.
That's what they used to think, that biology was destiny. But then Swomey did something that changed everything. He took those genetically anxious baby monkeys and gave them to super nurturing foster mothers.
And what does a super nurturing monkey mom do?
She was attentive and comforting, but she gently pushed them to explore. She nudged them out into the world.
Okay.
And here's the miracle. Those genetically anxious monkeys didn't just become okay. They became the leaders of the troop.
Wait, the anxious ones became the leaders, not the naturally bold ones.
The anxious ones. Because that genetic sensitivity in the right environment actually made them better at reading social cues. This is the science of epigenetics.
Your environment can literally turn your genes on or off.
Exactly. The hardware might be there for anxiety, but your behavior and your environment are the software. You can physically rewire your brain.
That's huge. So biology isn't an excuse. Your brain is plastic. But that's only half the story. What about nurture? How society raises us?
This is where the book gets really focused on the differences between how we raise boys and girls.
I connected with this part so much.
Ah.
In school, who gets the gold stars? It's usually the girls for being quiet, following the rules, having neat handwriting.
We reward girls for compliance, for perfection. Meanwhile, on the playground, boys are often rewarded for being assertive, for taking risks, for being loud.
A boy shoves someone, he's a leader. A girl does it, she's bossy.
And that conditioning follows you straight into the workplace.
Yeah.
The book uses a really jarring example from the U.S. Naval Academy.
Yeah, this was tough to read.
It's a very male-dominated environment, and the authors talked about how some male midshipmen had an acronym for their female classmates. DUBs.
Which stands for?
Dumb, ugly bitches.
Wow. That is just brutal.
It is. And it's an extreme example, but it illustrates the environmental pressure. When you're in an environment like that, you go into defense mode. You try to be perfect to avoid any criticism.
And that perfectionism, it's the enemy of confidence.
It is the absolute killer. Because if you're trying to be perfect, you never take a risk. You never fail. And if you never fail, you never learn that you can survive it.
The book calls the mental habit that comes from this rumination.
Right. Women are statistically more likely to ruminate, to just replay a mistake over and over. Men tend to externalize. A guy messes up, you might blame the equipment. A woman messes up, she thinks, I am an idiot.
So you've got genetics, social conditioning, and this habit of overthinking. The deck feels a little stacked. So how do we actually break out of it? What are the mechanics?
The solution is so simple, but it goes against every instinct you have. The core rule of the confidence code is this: do more, think less.
Do more, think less. It sounds a little bit like a bumper sticker. Are we supposed to just charge into things blindly?
Not blindly,
Yeah.
but rapidly. See, here's the trap we all fall into. We think the order is get competent, then feel confident, then act.
Right. I need to feel ready before I speak up. That seems logical.
But the science says it's completely backward. You cannot think your way into confidence. You have to act your way into it. The action has to come first.
So you have to speak up while your heart is pounding out of your chest.
Yes. There's this concept called self-efficacy. It's basically mastery. The only way your brain truly learns it's capable is by doing the thing and surviving. Every time you act, you're building a new neural pathway that says, see, we can do this.
This sounds a lot like failing fast. It's a buzzword, but it sounds like it's actually a necessary tool here.
It's crucial. This is Carol Dweck's growth mindset work. If you see failure as a judgment on your character, you'll hide. But if you see it as just data, well, that approach didn't work, let's try another, then it's just part of the process.
We need to treat our lives less like a performance review and more like a science experiment.
You got it. And this leads to what they call the new nurture. They tell these stories about women like Jane Wurwand, who founded Dermalogica, and Christine Lagarde.
Christine Lagarde is the definition of a confident person.
She is. And her parents were very hands-off. They didn't coddle her. They expected her to solve her own problems.
Because they weren't protected from the world. They were forced to engage with it.
That's the key. Real confidence is forged by weathering storms, not by hiding from them. You have to stop trying to protect yourself from potential embarrassment and actually seek out small, manageable risks.
Okay, so practically speaking, if I'm terrified of public speaking, the answer isn't another book on public speaking.
No. The answer is to give a toast at a friend's dinner party. Start small, low stakes.
Yeah.
But you have to do the thing that scares you. The anticipation is always worse than the reality.
And every time you do it, your brain banks that evidence. Oh, I survived.
That's the confidence muscle getting stronger.
Okay, let's boil this all down. We've got the definition, action, not feeling, the biology, genetics, and plasticity, the social traps, perfectionism. What is the actual code? What are the rules for someone walking into that meeting tomorrow?
Okay, I'd say the code has 3 core rules. Rule number 1, kill the perfectionism.
I love that.
It's not a virtue, it's a shield.
Oh, yeah.
Good enough and done is 1,000 times better than perfect and stuck in your head.
Okay, rule number 2.
Shift to action. When in doubt, act. If you're debating whether to speak, the rule is you seek. The feeling of confidence will follow the action, not the other way around.
And the last one, rule 3.
Rewire the brain. Actively use neuroplasticity. Every small risk you take physically changes your brain. It teaches your fear center that you're safe. But you have to do it over and over. Confidence isn't a destination. It's a daily practice.
It's a muscle that you have to keep working out.
Exactly. And I want to leave everyone with one final thought from the book. It really shifted my perspective on this. But we think of building confidence as this selfish thing, for us to get a promotion, for us to feel better. But the authors make this point.
Go on.
If you are competent, if you have good ideas and solutions, and you stay silent because you lack confidence, you are actively depriving the world of your contribution.
Wow, that puts a lot of responsibility on it.
It does. Think about it. The loud, incompetent people, they're already talking. If the smart, thoughtful, competent people stay quiet, we all lose. We get worse decisions, worse leadership. Confidence is the tool that makes your competence useful to others.
It stops being about, am I good enough, and starts being about, does the world need this answer?
Exactly.
Well, I hope this deep dive has given you a new way to think about that feeling in your gut. It's not a flaw, it's a system waiting to be hacked. If this summary helped you see confidence differently as a skill you can build, share this deep dive with someone who needs that boost.
Send it to that brilliant friend who stays quiet in meetings. You know who they are.
Absolutely. Like the deep dive, subscribe for more summaries that decode the books you need to know, and we'll see you on the next one. Go take some small risks.
Do more, think less. Bye, everyone.